Before your feet even hit the floor in the morning, a battle begins, not outside of you, but within your own mind. And here's the truth no one tells you: your mind isn't broken, it isn't lazy, it's just waiting for you to give it new instructions. What if I told you that everything you want, discipline, focus, clarity, peace, it's already inside of you, locked behind the habits you choose every single day? This video is not just another motivational moment, it's your wake-up call. We're going to unpack the truth about mental discipline and why your breakthrough isn't waiting in your circumstances, it's waiting in your choices. This isn't about hype, it's about harnessing, because when you learn to master your mind, you unlock a version of yourself the world has never seen. So stay with me, don't scroll away. What you're about to hear may just be the conversation that shifts the next chapter of your life. Let's go all in starting now. Your mind is not broken, and it's certainly not lazy. What it is often is untrained, conditioned by years of survival, distraction, and instant gratification. In a world that constantly screams for your attention, your brain is doing exactly what it was designed to do: conserve energy, avoid risk, and find the easiest route. The problem isn't that you lack potential. It's that your potential is locked behind walls built by routine, fear, and a comfort zone disguised as safety. When you believe your mind is lazy, you excuse yourself from the work of discipline. But the truth is, your mind is waiting, begging to be led with purpose. Discipline is not punishment. It's the most powerful form of self-respect. It says, I believe in what I'm becoming more than I believe in how I feel today. It says, I won't let a temporary mood decide my permanent legacy. Think about that for a moment. Every great leader, every innovator, every soul who shifted the trajectory of their life didn't do it because they felt motivated every morning. They did it because they trained their minds to serve their values rather than their impulses. They created internal systems stronger than their excuses, and so can you, but you won't stumble into it. You have to be intentional. You have to wake up and challenge your mind before the world tells it who to be. You have to set your course before life pulls you into chaos. If you want to change your direction, you don't start with inspiration. You start with instruction. Command your thoughts. Feed your focus. Starve your distractions. Teach your mind to obey your vision instead of your emotions. The truth is, discipline is like a muscle. It gets stronger with resistance. And every time you make the hard choice, the early rise, the daily habit, the uncomfortable conversation, you're telling your brain, this is who we are now, this is what we do, and slowly but surely, your mind begins to respond. It starts to cooperate with your calling. It stops sabotaging and starts supporting. That's the moment when everything shifts. Not because life got easier, but because you got stronger. Because the most powerful version of you isn't found in how you feel. It's found in how you lead yourself when no one is watching. Your mind isn't lazy. It's just waiting for you to take the wheel. Focus is not a gift. It's a habit. And in today's world, it is also a rebellion. We are constantly bombarded by noise, notifications, and endless distractions that are designed to hijack our attention and feed our appetites, not our purpose. Your brain has become addicted to fragmentation. It craves the quick fix, the hit of dopamine from scrolling, switching, multitasking. But this fragmented attention creates a fragmented life. You were not created to do everything. You were created to do the right things with full presence and deep intentionality. Focus is what separates noise from signal, urgency from importance, and busyness from progress. The undisciplined mind confuses movement for growth, but true transformation only happens when attention is harnessed and pointed in one direction over time. Reclaiming your focus begins by protecting your mental environment. You cannot expect clarity while living in digital chaos. This means choosing to guard your inputs, what you consume, who you listen to, what you meditate on, all of it is shaping your future. You can't wire your brain for greatness on a diet of mediocrity. Your focus must become sacred. It must be stewarded like a resource, not treated like an afterthought. The mind, when properly focused, is your greatest asset, but when left untrained, it becomes a playground for doubt, fear, and delay. Focus also means learning how to say no strategically, unapologetically. Every yes you give is a no to something else, and smart people understand the power of a well-laced no. To build anything meaningful, you must be willing to narrow your attention, to tune out the world so you can tune into your calling. This will not always feel good. Focus will require you to disconnect from what is comfortable so you can commit to what is essential. But once you experience the momentum that comes from deep, undistracted work, when your mind is aligned, your energy is concentrated, and your path is clear, you'll realize that focus isn't a constraint. It's the key to freedom, power, and purpose-driven living. Discipline is not punishment. It is the highest form of self-respect. When you discipline your mind, you declare that your future matters more than your feelings in the moment. And this is where many people fall short. They wait for motivation to strike, for clarity to magically appear, for the perfect condition to begin. But the truth is, nothing great is ever built on feelings. It's built on habits, consistency, and the quiet strength of showing up when it's hard. Discipline doesn't always look heroic. Sometimes it looks like going to bed on time, waking up without snoozing, saying no to what doesn't align, or choosing work over comfort. It's not always loud, but it's always powerful. Your mind craves structure even when it resists it. Without discipline, your thoughts wander, your energy leaks, and your time slips through your fingers. The undisciplined mind is reactive. It reacts to distraction, to emotion, to fear. But a disciplined mind responds. It makes decisions based on principles, not pressure. Discipline brings order to the internal chaos and gives you a clear lens to see through the noise of life. And it starts with small, deliberate actions. Discipline is not about radical overnight changes. It's about one decision at a time, repeated with intention until it becomes a rhythm that rewires your brain and redefines your identity. Most people think discipline is about restriction, but the truth is, discipline is about freedom. The freedom to choose your direction and stick to it. The freedom to rise above your impulses and live from purpose, not pressure. Discipline empowers you to hold yourself to a higher standard, to walk away from things that no longer serve your growth, and to invest daily in the person you're becoming, not just the person you've been. It means doing what's right over what's easy, choosing long-term gain over short-term gratification, and it's not something that happens by accident. It is cultivated, protected, and practiced daily. When you choose discipline over distraction, you tell your mind it doesn't lead. You do. That is where transformation begins. Repetition is not glamorous, but it is essential. The mind learns not through inspiration, but through consistency. One of the greatest misunderstandings about transformation is thinking that change comes from sudden breakthroughs, but real change, the kind that lasts, is born from the daily grind of doing the right thing again and again, even when it's no longer exciting. Repetition carves new grooves into your brain. It strengthens the neural pathways that tell your body, your emotions, and your instincts how to respond. The first time you choose focus over distraction, your brain notices. The 10th time it remembers, the 100th time it obeys. That's how discipline is built, not through bursts of motivation, but through the discipline of showing up. Every single habit you've built, whether helpful or harmful, has been the result of repetition. You didn't become anxious, reactive, or doubtful overnight. You practiced those patterns until they felt natural. So when it comes to building strength, clarity, confidence, or self-control, the process is exactly the same. You choose the habit you want to embody, and you repeat it until it becomes who you are. This is not about perfection, it's about persistence. Every time you practice the behavior you want to see in your life, whether that's journaling, exercising, waking up early, or pausing before reacting, you are laying a brick on the foundation of a stronger mind. Repetition also trains emotional resilience. It teaches your brain that discomfort doesn't mean danger and that failure isn't the end. When you commit to doing something over and over, regardless of how you feel, your emotions begin to align with your actions. You stop living in the moment and start leading the moment. That's power. That's leadership over your own life. Many people start strong and fade quickly, not because they lack potential, but because they lack the patience to keep going when the results aren't immediate. But those who stay consistent, those who embrace the process, those who repeat the right steps even in silence, they are the ones who wake up one day to find that they've become something more than they imagined. Not because of a moment of inspiration, but because they learned to master the power of repetition. Progress doesn't happen in giant leaps. It happens in small, intentional choices repeated day after day. The greatest transformations in life are not driven by emotion, but by consistency. You can be inspired once, but unless that inspiration turns into action, it will evaporate. The mind, much like the body, grows stronger through daily resistance, daily stretch, daily repetition. You don't need a new miracle. You need a new rhythm, and rhythm begins with showing up. One step, one task, one commitment at a time. There's a reason why we admire discipline so deeply, because it builds the kind of strength that doesn't shout but endures. Every time you choose to engage with the difficult rather than avoid it, you're training your brain to value effort over ease. This shift rewires how you think, how you react, and how you carry yourself in the world. It breaks the cycle of passivity and gives you back the authority to shape your life. That's why small wins matter. They're not just nice to have. They're the building blocks of lasting growth, and these wins don't need to be dramatic. Waking up with your alarm, saying no to a distraction, finishing a task instead of starting 5. These are the moments that train your mind to believe that you are someone who follows through, someone who is in charge, someone who does not wait for life to hand them progress. They create it, and let's be honest, most people quit, not because they can't do the work, but because they expect too much too soon. They want instant gratification, but transformation doesn't come with shortcuts. The ones who rise are not the loudest, not the most gifted. They're the ones who keep showing up when no one is watching, because repetition isn't boring when you understand it's a weapon. Every consistent action you take is a vote for the kind of person you're becoming. It builds trust, not with others first, but with yourself. And when you trust yourself, you stop hesitating. You stop explaining your value. You walk into your day with quiet authority because your habits have prepared you for the life you're building. Your brain is not the enemy of your progress. It's simply responding to what you repeatedly tell it matters. If your life is full of distractions, shortcuts, and shallow goals, your mind adapts to prioritize them. But if you start feeding it purpose, challenge, and direction, it begins to rewire itself in response. The beauty of the human mind is that it's never fully set. Neuroplasticity, the ability of the brain to reshape itself, means that transformation is always possible, but it must be intentional. What you focus on, what you rehearse mentally and emotionally, becomes the script your brain runs on. If you rehearse doubt, you'll see danger in every opportunity. But if you rehearse courage, your brain starts scanning for ways to take healthy risks. The secret is this: what you train it to believe, it begins to build toward. That's why new behaviors aren't just optional, they're essential. If you want different results, you must introduce different inputs. That doesn't mean you have to completely overhaul your life overnight. It means you begin with a shift in awareness, start asking better questions. Instead of "Why am I like this?" ask "What do I want my future to be built on?" Begin to observe your habits as if you were someone else watching your life. Would you be proud of what you see? If not, don't drown in guilt. Pivot in action. Your brain doesn't change through criticism. It changes through clarity and consistency. When you start aligning your behaviors with who you want to become, you give your mind a new path to follow, not based on the past, but based on the potential of your future. There will be resistance. The mind often resists change not because it's lazy, but because it's loyal to survival. It thinks the old patterns kept you safe, so don't get discouraged when new habits feel uncomfortable. That discomfort is not a sign of failure, it's a signal of rewiring in progress. Keep pressing into it, keep repeating the new thought, keep choosing the new action. Over time, what once felt unnatural becomes second nature. And when your behaviors reflect your values, your life becomes a reflection of purpose, not pressure. You stop performing for approval and start living with conviction. And here's what it all comes down to. Your mind is not your enemy, it's your most powerful asset. It's not lazy, it's trained. Every thought you allow, every habit you repeat, every belief you affirm, these are the bricks that build the structure of your future. You don't have to wait for a perfect day to take control. You don't have to feel motivated to start. You just have to decide. Discipline isn't a punishment, it's a pathway to freedom. And your freedom begins the moment you choose to no longer be ruled by feelings but by purpose. If you can show up when it's hard, if you can stay consistent when no one is watching, if you can rewire your habits to reflect your highest calling, then you've already started winning. Your mind will follow the direction you give it. So give it clarity, give it vision, and most importantly, give it permission to grow. You don't need more time, more resources, or more luck. You need more intention, and that's something you already carry within you. Thank you for spending these moments with me today. If this message stirred something inside you, hold on to it, nurture it, take action on it. And if it inspired you, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Because this world needs more minds that are focused, disciplined, and alive with purpose. Let's keep growing together.